Well, 30% of South Africa's spenders are living beyond their means, mainly due to poor savings patterns. As a result, there's a high dependence on credit to meet their financial demands and, of course, a rise in debt in South Africa. Joining me for more on this, Elizabeth Lwanga-Nanziri, CEO of the South African Savings Institute. She joins us from Cape Town. Thanks so much for joining us today, Elizabeth. Basically the findings saying that people are living in South Africa on average 30% beyond their means, 30% beyond their income. But when you break this down, are there specific groups in society that are specifically spenders, big spending on a big spending splurge, basically?
Yeah, I think we have noted in your caption a few seconds ago that the youth obviously are the biggest culprits in here. And that's very scaring because they don't have any management skills whatsoever, and the way they view life is totally different. That when you talk about planning for retirement, that doesn't ring a bell for them. They're just happening. They're just doing it at the moment. They're in the moment. I think the other group or the other category are the middle income earners. Many of them are big spenders. They spend on big items, your flashy cars as well. They're just living a life. So those are the groups of people that are currently earning that should be saving or putting something aside, seeing that they're almost nearing retirement. And it is very discouraging and worrisome. We see many ladies, especially single mothers, working mothers, they tend to be good spenders. They're cautious, maybe because they have kids to worry about, being single parents. We also have your old-aged group, our seniors. They're actually good people. They manage their finances better. So seeing that they have now lived their time, we should be worrying about the youth and the middle income earners, who should be the people that are supposed to support our system. So it's a bit worrisome that the people that should be doing us some justice are not actually coming to the party.
I mean, at this point in time, you almost have to encourage, spending diet in South Africa, because you've got food prices which have gone up, even though food inflation points to lowering food price inflation. Electricity, petrol, we know goes up again. Salaries are being frozen in South Africa, not keeping up generally with inflation. So overall, you're getting less money in, and there are people wanting to keep up with their lifestyles. So what are you encouraging from SASSI's point of view? I mean, what type of programs are you going on to try and encourage people to put more money aside?
We first of all trying to make sure that people understand basic financial skills, because that's the starting point. And we've noticed that over the years, actually, many people do not understand that you can actually save even without earning millions of bucks. I mean, after all, those that earn a lot don't even save as they should. So we have gone out with campaigns to especially inculcate this financial knowledge amongst our consumers. We do have a campaign for the university students themselves, because we noticed that those kids have the potential to save if only they understood exactly how they can do it and where they can cut down. They can still live a good life as they want to, but they can still save. And we do have a slogan for that: get your grades while you save. But right through the campaign, especially this July, we have taken to the communities where you have your working class, people who don't know how to even manage what they're earning at the moment. And given that, as you said, our expenses are really going up, or the cost of living is actually going up, I think the idea is to try and make ends meet with what you have right now. And that is possible if you can try to adjust your mindset. And most importantly, for those that are in the middle group that are earning, they too don't understand. They don't understand what products are out there, who to actually approach for the for financial advice. So we've tried to get them into meeting up with or changing their attitudes basically towards financial planners, so that they can get the best the best advice on how to go about it, where to cut down, what products to use basically. And also people that are in debt right now, we like to tell them that it's not the end of the world, but if they could only reach out to the advisors, they could actually be able to make their their lives better. It's true, the economic situation is not getting better, and we have been telling people that it's going to get worse. We said this during the crisis, after the crisis, and we're still saying it now. So it's the mindset change campaign that we're actually running at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, apart from saving for a rainy day and reducing financial stress, that all at the household level, it's also doing your bit for South Africa as a whole, and Pravin Gordhan always makes mention of it. We need to change the culture in South Africa. So draw the connection between what's saving at a household level, what you and I can do by putting more money away, and how that can ultimately feed through, and how that can ultimately help the country as a whole.
There are two components to this at the moment. You're talking about me and what I can do now, and how that impacts on my my immediate family, my community members in terms of social welfare. So which is the one thing that people end up getting from government under social support. However, where does government get that money from? That money can only come from what you and I do. For instance, if I'm able to save and I'm able to put it, say, in a bank, I'm making those funds available to investors that can then pick those funds, use them productively, pay their taxes back to government. Obviously, as I'm spending, I mean, the investors are creating employment. I get employed, I earn, I pay my tax dues. The companies pay the income taxes as well. So we are actually creating a pool of funds for government to be able to give us the services that we need. But if we do not play our part, then we're leaving a gap. At the moment, like, for example, the savings rate is looking so bizarre, and the only groups that are coming to the party are your corporates. Now, the corporates are doing that, but that's because they're also foregoing something. Government is de-saving, and we are de-saving as well. So that gap is what ultimately now translates into your budget deficit, which government has to look elsewhere to fill. If that happens, then they'll have to borrow outside so they can fulfill their social obligations in the country. For the people that are not saving, the old, the disabled, all those that need social support or state support will be getting it, but it will be borrowed. So at the end of the day, we're having funds borrowed from other countries, from overseas, from international donors, but there is an interest that is payable, just like there is an interest payable on the credit that you take from any retail shop or the bank. So who's going to pay for this interest? Ultimately, our children and our children's children are going to be paying that. So you realize that by us not doing the simplest bits, we are throwing our country over to, we're actually burdening our children and our grandchildren, which is not really the right way to go. Right now,
we're going to have to, unfortunately, leave it at that.
Get this wrong.
Yeah, sorry, unfortunately, we're going to have to leave it at that.